But with all the presentations that you have done so far, Mr. Chivayo, and all the loopholes that you see, and with the influence that you had access to the chief secretary, and the easy part of getting a response when people would take 2-3 years to get a response, don't you think you had much more influence and experience to deal with this in terms of working on the shelf company?
And you said that Mr. Kwaza was delaying the project. Well, why do you say so? If we know government is very slow, and if it was part of doing his job, why would you rush to say he was slowing down the whole process?
I mean, and secondly, Mr. Chairman,
yes,
that he hated him. A deceased, you will never say you hate somebody who was late. He has got families, and they are listening to that he hated it's uncultural according to Zimbabwe's laws.
I think he withdrew that. Did you not withdraw the word hate?
Yes.
Yeah, it's total uncultural. I think,
yes.
Honourable.
Okay,
I think, can you continue to unbundle?
Okay, my apologies, Chairman. For us as business people, when you wait 1 year or you wait for 2 years, and then you look at the power shortages, actually you have every reason to feel that there's delay in whatever processes that are going through. So in our view, there were a lot of delays because normally they would award tenders in a shorter space of time, in 4 months and 6 months, but this kept on dragging on and on and on for years. So this is actually what we thought.
But Mr. Kwaza is not here, so we'll not really ask him. What about if he was trying to avoid the undue processes, the influence of the people that you've spoken to, and wanted it to be fair? We'll never know, but I think let's also appreciate that we don't want to talk about him. He cannot come here and answer to some of these issues. So I think it's best we probably avoid mentioning him in terms of where a response is needed from him. I think that would be the fairest way of handling that. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I got introduced to Engineer Kajanje by Mr. Isaac Mpotsa, and he said, should you have any projects that you want reviewed or any engineering support, I have an engineer that has a lot of experience that can assist you as and when you need him, because I won't be able to assist you in the future because I'm now more committed and no consult, and I won't be able. So that's how I was introduced to him. And when I was introduced to him, I told him I was participating in the Gairezi tender with Bharat Heavy Equipment Limited and Angelique International. And once the tender documents come, before we submit, I would need him just to review and see that the technical specifications are correct and give me an opinion before we submit. And ideally, when the documents came from India, I asked him to say how much should he charge me for reviewing the documents before I submit, and he gave me his company's price to review the documents, and he reviewed them, gave me his comments, and we paid him, and that was it. That is basically the only transaction we ever had with them.
I think what was important was to understand the relationship that you had, and it is to your response that you did have a relationship. So I think that's what we wanted to establish. I think, members, if we can move to the part of the payments now. I think we've exhausted this enough. We want to go about the payments. The other issue is if you could equally talk to us about the payment processes and the amount of money paid to you for this project. And I think that would then lead to the work that has been done with the money that has been paid to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It will explain as I continue from the award and during the feasibility. As part of the pre-commencement works, we agreed that it would be 1 million over 4 months. And then feasibility.
My point of order, Honorable Chair, is Mr. Chivayo has got partners representing the other stakeholders or his partners. What don't they have anything to say in accordance so far on what we have just heard from him? On the contrary, on concurrence. Say.
What I thought I would do is to also get the lawyers to also speak after he has spoken if there are issues with the need to really bring up.
So, as part of the agreements in the contract, we said we would do pre-commencement works at $1 million a month over 4 months. So this figure was kept at 4 million, and then that was excluding VAT, and then feasibility was 2.1 million. That was the cost. So we then embarked on the pre-commencement works. First of all, the commitment in terms of the contract was to pay me $2.1 million for the feasibility study. I went to the managing director.
Just interruption. There's a car, ADI 9498. ADI 9498. Whoever is the owner, can you please move your vehicle? ADI 9498. Thank you. Proceed.
So the initial payment was supposed to be for feasibility studies, which was 2.1 million. So after raising an invoice, I went to the managing director of ZPC, who was Mr. Noah Guariro, and I presented the invoice for the feasibility. Then Mr. Guariro said, for the pre-commencement works, they required an advance payment guarantee. So, well, the whole amount, which would have been close to maybe 7 million. So, as they required an advance payment.
Honorable Chair.
Yes.
Please, can we have the exact figures?
Can we have the exact figures?
An advance payment guarantee can be for a small amount that you are just getting paid. But I'm saying for the total of the pre-commencement works, it would have been 8 million.
In this case, how much were we talking about?
I beg your pardon?
In this case, how much were we talking about?
We're talking about 2.1 million.
Okay.
So, Engineer Guariro then said, the problem was for anything, the pre-commencement works, they required an advance payment guarantee in terms of the contract. But I then referred to another provision in the contract which allows the employer to waiver any conditions in the contract. So I said to him, all the local banks that were willing to give an advance payment guarantee were charging 5%. So 5% of roughly 7 million for the pre-commencement works would be about 350,000. So I say to him, for a local company, for us to spend...
Point of order, Honorable Chair.
Yes, what's the point of order?
These works were undertaken, these payments were made, but he continues to refer to roughly around 7 million. And here we would like to know if this amount was 5 million or if it was 7 million or if it was 6 point something. We just want to have that clarity. What are we talking about here?
I think it's in order that you give us a real figure, the exact figure. Thanks.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think if the honourable members just allow me to explain, they will get all their questions answered as I explain. Because I was giving the round figure for the whole pre-commencement works estimated, and then I'll obviously get to the point of how much I was paid, when and how, and over how many times. So I was just trying to get to the point, but after I finish explaining, I'm sure it'll be quite clear.
You know, when you're dealing with figures, you don't explain much. Figures explain themselves. Yeah, I think if you tell us the total figure, and then questions will arise from there in terms of from this total figure, what then did you do with it? And this is where you can then give a breakdown of saying this money went here, this money went here, and so forth.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'm under oath, and I'm not going to say it's exactly 7 million. Then tomorrow I'm charged when it was 7.3 million. Say you lied, that was 7 million when it's 7.6. This is why I'm saying roughly, but if you want the exact figures I have, I can get them. But for now,
Mr. Chivayo, you knew you were coming before this committee. I don't think you want to come back again. And the letter was very clear, payment processes. And I think this is the problem. When you're on your own, in most organizations, the financial director would be giving these figures. But now you have so much, and the letter was very clear in telling you why we'd invited you here, the payment processes. So it was important for you to have that with you so that you respond accurately to them, because this is the real issue, as you know. Other issues are not as important as this issue that we're talking about, how much you got, where the money went to. And you cannot say roughly, I don't know. We had ZPC here. They told us clearly that they paid you 7 million.
7 points.
Yes, yes. We had, you know, if you're not able to tell us the amount of money that you've been paid here, then it says a lot about the way you run your companies from a governance point of view. We then end up going into many issues, that who does your finance, who does this and that. So I think just tell us how much you got, and then it is broken down.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we hadn't gotten to that question. I wasn't answering yet how much I got. But if ZPC said they gave me 7 million, that's incorrect. Because the payments are clear, it's there, that is 5 billion. They went into one bank account, and it's very clear it was 5 million. I was actually shocked when Engineer Kashin said it was actually 7 million. The whole pre-commencement works are 7 million. There's a balance of about 1.3, 1.4 million, excluding VAT, that to complete the works. But what they paid ideally was 5 million exactly.
Then give us a breakdown of the 5 million, yes, which was paid to the interest of time. We want a breakdown of that amount of money.
Okay, I was still explaining.
Mr. Chairman? Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman. Since I'm sure it's important to have records and to put records officially, can you put it through to this committee, Mr. Chairman? Mr. Chivayo, can you put it through that the presentation that we had from the Zesa Holdings team, which came with the Honorable Minister, when they did a presentation that they gave you money to the tune of plus 7 million, and they were under oath, they were presenting to this Parliament falsehoods. Can you put it to the record?
I think it's important you think clarify that that's our role of oversight. ZPC say they gave you over 7 million, and you're saying you did not receive that. Can you please attest to that?
Yes, Honorable Chairman, ZPC did not pay me 7 million, but they paid 5 million. That's the amount. That's the correct amount that I was paid.
So can you, the issue of the 5 million dispersed, first of all, was there not supposed to be a bank guarantee?
I think, as I was explaining, I was going to get to that step by step. Remember, I was just about to get to that point. Anyway, I then went to the managing director and said, in provisions of the contract, the employer can waiver some of the conditions in the contract in the interest of progress of the project. Then Engineer Guariro then refused to pay for the feasibility, although he said his engineers were looking at it and reviewing it. Again, I went to the erstwhile Minister of Energy, Mr. Undenge, and I presented my case to him that I had completed a feasibility, which was to the tune of 2.1 million, and the project was on a standstill because as a local company, I had no capability of getting a guarantee with the fees that are being charged by local companies, and the feasibility, I'd already submitted the feasibility to ZPC.
So, Chairman.
Yes, Honorable Tim.
Chairman.
The idea, having gone through the management at ZPC, he had to usurp that process. He went to the Honorable Minister to seek influence. Was it purely so that he will go against social corporate responsibility, lay down rules? Is it in perpetuity? Is it in propensity to the presentation that he did earlier on when he failed to get the tender? He had to go to the Honorable Minister. Now he fails to get this 2-point-something million because condition has not been met. He has to go through to the Minister. Is it a character that whenever things fall apart with regard to rules, you subvert them using senior influence?
I think we will get to that. I think that's a pertinent question as we go on. I think the issue is you tend to go to the higher offices. The managing director said no, but the managing director reports to a board. The board has got a group CEO. The group CEO has got a chairman. There's a PEMSEC and so forth. But of course, no one questions who you must go and see. But this is just what members of parliament tend to be kind of picking up. I'm sure they'll ask questions why they brought this up, but it is noted. May you proceed?
Okay. So I then presented that to the Minister Ondenge to say, I've already submitted a feasibility to the tune of 2.1 million, which they are already reviewing, but they are insisting on an advance payment guarantee. And I had proposed to them that they do payments in milestones, basing on what work I had delivered. And that was a provision in the contract that they could use milestones of what work I've done, and then they pay against that. The minister said he would look into it and also consult his principals in the interest of of the progress of the project. I was then called by Engineer Guarire a week later, and he said to me that he got specific instructions from the minister that the project must proceed and there must be no delays, as the project was very important to the nation. So he was paying the feasibility study to the tune of 2.1 million. That's when I received the payment of 2.1 million for the feasibility.
Members, you don't have to really shout. I think you're honorable members.
So I was paid 2.1 million for the feasibility, and I delivered the feasibility.
Sorry, you were paid that without a bank guarantee, because you did not get a bank guarantee.
Yes, I didn't get a bank guarantee, but remember I delivered the feasibility. So a bank guarantee is to guarantee the money you are being paid for something you have not done. So in this instance, I had done the feasibility. So a payment was just due to me because they had it. So a guarantee is called an advance payment guarantee, that we are advancing you. Give us security that in case you don't deliver this, we are safe, we are secured. So I had given them the feasibility. But obviously they kept insisting that...
a bank guarantee and feasibility are two different things. You cannot say a feasibility study is a bank guarantee. What is the purpose of a bank guarantee? If you fail then the bank guarantee kicks in. If we all understand business at the end of it. So how do you then compare a feasibility study to a bank guarantee?
I'm not comparing the two. You're not understanding me, Mr. Chairman.
No, the question before you is, my questions are very simple. You got 2.2 million without a bank guarantee, yes or no?
There was no need for a guarantee. I had delivered. The guarantee was to secure in the event that I don't deliver the feasibility. But in this instance, I had delivered the feasibility. So I was being paid for work done.
Okay. before us that you did not get a guarantee.
Yes, I was going to come to that.
No,
The
I want to take you back. I want to take you back. You did mention to us that you did not get a guarantee. Did you not?
Yes, I did.
So when you're trying to get a guarantee, it was for what?
It was for the whole amount because they were all classified as pre-commencement works.
You were still given money for 2.2
for the feasibility.
But without a bank guarantee.
Yes, because they had been separated from the pre-commencement works.
But the question before you is simple. A bank guarantee was needed for the whole amount.
Yes.
Are you with me?
Yes.
And it's for you to understand that. You got no bank guarantee for the
2.1 million.
2.1 million. This is the question that is before you, because you did go and try and get a bank guarantee, you didn't get it. The next question is that why did you not get the bank guarantee? Is it because of your previous convictions? Because this is where they come in now. Because we would want to ask, because here is a big project which is being done, and the banks here don't want to give you money. And according to this document, which I have, which you wrote to us, it clearly talks about you mobilizing funds from the local banks and the international banks. Am I right or wrong? So to me, the local banks you went to, and they gave you no bank guarantee. So how then were you going to continue when this letter that you wrote to us, an agreement, clearly stipulates the conditions that the mobilization of resources will be done locally and internationally? But then you fail to attract money locally by not producing a bank guarantee. And then you then get the money. This is where the real question is, Mr. Chivayo. You had no bank guarantee. After going for one, you did not get it. You got the money. And you also mentioned that in getting the money, when the managing director said no, who was following the corporate governance issues of the bank guarantee, you then went to the minister. And then you are clearly saying that in going to the minister, Mr. Aguero then called you to clearly say that I have instructions, honorable members. Am I wrong? Because this is what you're saying to us. You are saying I have instructions from the minister to now give the money and depart from corporate governance and use the powers of the minister to then allow you to get the money. Are we right or wrong, so that we make progress?
Oh, well, that observation could be correct.
No, you say it.
Yeah, that observation could be correct.
I think honorable Mr. Chivayo.
I'm not honorable, Mr. Chairman. Just.
Mr. Chivayo. I think it is important for you to take this seriously.
No, indeed.
This is not a talk show.
Yes.
We are trying to ascertain, to understand public funds, how they're being spent. And that's why we're trying to do this. And whether the due process has been followed.
Yes.
This leads to many questions which will come through. We're going step by step to understand you were paid. We then have asked you, what is the progress to date? We'll be coming to that after the payments have been made. But you had said you then got a call from the managing director to say there are instructions from the minister. Can you proceed from there?
Okay. So he then said that I've received instructions from the minister that we must proceed with the project at all costs, and considering that we have reviewed your feasibility and we're happy with it, we're going to pay you the 2.1 million for the feasibility. Then we agree on the payment of the milestones of the $4 million per month. So I submitted an invoice for the 2.1 million for the feasibility, which was subsequently paid in 2 or 3 tranches. So when they paid for the feasibility, I can't remember the month, but it must have been December and January. Then we embarked on the pre-commencement works. So for the pre-commencement works, there was fencing, there was geotechnical survey, there was site establishment, there were web designs, access roads, and clearing the land, just in brief. Then...
Sorry, on that. When did you get the money and when did you put up the fence?
And are you done with the fence?
When did you get the money and when did you put up the fence?
The fence is being put up like almost half now, because...
Sorry, honorables, you can come in. I just want to understand when you got the money and when the fence has been, because the money has been given to you, and the money given to you covers how much distance of the fence.
Yeah,
I would like you to also go into that.
Okay,
And when
Mr.
did
Chairman,
you erect the fence?
My apologies. Can I just finish the explanation until the end? Then questions can come in from what I've explained. Because
I think sitting here means I am the chair, and I think I guide the meeting. There are certain issues which are not important. We want to go on about money issues. It's now 1:15, and I think we want to tackle the most pertinent issues. And like we're talking about figures here, and I think it's the figures that we want. And these questions that we're asking you are in line with what we're trying to establish in how the money was then spent when you received the money. I think that's what we are more or less trying to achieve. So when you got the money, when did you get the money, and when was the fence done? And was the money for enough to fence the whole area, or to fence half of what you've done now?
yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Like I was saying, my explanation is almost over. It's just brief. It'll explain everything. Then it makes your questions answer themselves once I just finish.
Why don't you answer the question I've put before you?
Okay, because we were talking about the feasibility, which was the first step. Before we spoke about web designs, road access, clearing the land.
All that we've heard.
The fence came
Mr.
after.
Chivayo.
So now you've asked
Mr.
about the
Mr.
fence,
Chivayo.
which means
Mr.
you've
Mr.
jumped
Chivayo.
all the other.
Mr. Chivayo.
Yes.
Let's be together.
Yes.
We totally have understood all that. We are saying you were paid the money. So when were you paid? And when did the work start? And where are we in terms of the work? Did the work that you've started, did the money cover all the work, or there's still money outstanding? Because we said we're here to also help you, to ensure that this project moves forward. It's not only one-sided. We represent everyone in talking to you. So don't see us as your enemies. We also want to ensure if they're not paying you on time, we push them to pay you on time as a recommendation. But if they've paid you on time, we also want to understand the progress of work that has been done when they've paid you.
Just a point of clarity also. If he can also explain how that money was paid in terms of disbursement. How was it disbursed?
Yeah.
The 5 million.
All right. So after receiving the money for the feasibility, they then started paying for the. That's what I said in January. January 2016. Yes, January. Yes, for the feasibility. After they paid for the feasibility, then we embarked on the pre-commencement works. We agreed that these various things must be done at the site in comparison to this amount of money there to be paid. So from the 4 million, we agreed that including VAT, it would then be almost 5 point something. They would pay every month and 1 million plus VAT. It would come out to 1,150 something, 1,159,000 each month. So they paid, after paying the feasibility, they paid the payment release certificate 1. We went to the site and we embarked on the works, which was the web designs, getting the road to the transmission line and the road to the substation, which is almost 17 kilometers. And we were also assisting with the environmental impact assessment that was required as well by the banks. And as we proceeded with the pre-commencement works, we then reached a hurdle that after being paid about another 3 million on top of the 2 million, some of the work could not be quantified because it was probably 70% complete. Some of it was 60% complete, but they were only willing to certify the work as done when it's on 100%, when it's 100% complete. So as we were doing some of the work, then came the controversy of the payment without the guarantee, and it leaked into the newspapers that I was paid without a guarantee, and then they stopped paying. So when they stopped paying, because of the resources I had laid out at the site, I had to then demobilize because I had no option, because they now wanted a guarantee, and they would say it was all over the papers that I was paid without a guarantee. One of my partners, we renegotiated. One of my subcontractors offered a guarantee from South African international guarantee, and then they said, no, we cannot take a South African.
Sorry, we want to be consistent. The first time the first time you did not get money, you went to the minister.
Yes.
So why did you not go back to the minister again this time?
There was no basis to go back to the minister because
Chivayo,
they were saying that...
Mr. Chivayo, let's move together. The first time you did not get money, you went and appealed to the minister.
Yes.
The minister issued an instruction for you to get the money without the guarantee. That is the reason why I've been talking about the bank guarantee consistently. So why did you not go back to the minister again? For the minister to instruct you to get the money again? Because that is the channel that you were using. So that's why I'm asking. We want work to happen. Why did you not go to the minister again so that he gives you money?
But Honorable Chair, you cannot say, why didn't I go back to the minister? I made a decision that it was better to try and get the guarantee.
Why?
But the first time round, you were supposed to get money through a guarantee. You did not. The managing director said that you can't get the money. You then went to the minister. The managing director then called you to say that, come, there's an instruction for you to get the money. This time around, there was no money. So my question, with your consistency of getting money, why did you not go back to the minister to instruct again the managing director to give you money?
I mean, obviously, when a project spills into bad publicity and newspapers, ideally, everybody tends to run away and nobody is willing to...
It's good, continue, yes. So when a project spills in the paper...
The newspaper, yeah, so I had to go back to ZPC and I tried to go back to the minister was saying at least get a guarantee. You are saying now it's all spilled in the newspapers and it now looks as though there was corruption when there wasn't any corruption.
Get members to... There are allegations that the minister was paid money. Okay. What would be your response to that? That you paid money into their accounts?
I never paid the minister any money.
Would you be able to furnish this committee with a bank statement which the money got in and where the money went to? Because it's also important for us to follow up whether this money went to the intended purpose of this whole project.
As a company, we would not furnish our bank statements, but if we are given an order, you surely can access bank statements for all our companies directly.
We have oversight, and we're asking you, we're actually telling you, in fact, that we need your bank statement for us to see where the 2 million you paid went to. Did it go to the intended purposes or not? So it is part, because these are public funds which must be accounted for. As such, we protect the thing public in terms of money being misappropriated. So it's good for you, it's good for ZPC, it's good for all of us here to see a statement and to see whether this money went to the intended purpose of this whole project. So if you can, on Friday again, when you're bringing those documents, bring us your bank statement pertaining to this money that you were given by ZPC.
Yes, but it's not, our account did not only have money from ZPC. We had so many more millions from different places that were in the account. So in the interest of our privacy, I'll have to consult my superiors. But I mean, if given an order to give this house our statements,
I think we've asked you for those documents. It is on record that we've asked. All we're interested in is seeing where the 2 million that you were given by ZPC went to. We are not worried about the millions and billions which are there. We are only worried about the 2 million, which is public funds, whether it went to the intended purpose. So we expect those documents. Yes, Honorable Mnenga.
It's not 2 million. It's 5 million. Sorry, it's not 2 million because he was paid 5 million. In fact, that was the very question which I asked Ruti. How was that 5 million dispersed? So I think you have actually said so. The question which I wanted was, it would be better for him to furnish us with that information. Then, secondly, my honorable chair, Vachivayo, toda kuti ndinyaso kubvunza kuti mabasa enyu amakaita na minister kuenda kunokumbira kuti mupuwe mari. Imi misa businessman kana kuti semugaro muno munyika muZimbabwe. Mabasa akanga ari pamusoro pezvakanaka here kana kuti pakatoita chiukomo omwe mabasa amungati imimi kuenda kunokumbira kwamakaita minister ibasa kana kuti hunhu hunoratidza hunhu here.
Pamusoro chairman kwandira hapana chandakatadza. Indiri businessman ene kana zvinhu zvangu zvaramba ndinorwa ndinoenda kunorwa ndinoramba I am persistent. I mean, I guess that's the reason why ndichizenge ndichizobudirira kupera kwazvo. Saka ndakaenda ndichinorwa kuti vari kurambirei indavapa feasibility. Imi ndimi shareholder minister, you represent the interests of the government. Vanhu havari kuramba asi ndakavapa feasibility. Feasibility vaiona hongu vari kufara nayo. Zvikanzi okay, saka rega ndichaconsulta ndizoti ndinozvifambisa sei kune vakuru vangu. Panga pasina chiukomo omwe chaidiwa. Project ndakayawadwa nestate procurement board after an open tender. Saka pana paida kuzobhadharwa munhu ende kuona minister asi zvinhu zvakaoma.
Just on a point of order, stick to the question asked in that in all this were there no underhand dealings? Because do you know why, Mr. Chivayo? You said before that the first disbursement, the managing director refused.
Yes.
Then you went to the minister.
Yes.
The minister gave an instruction. When you needed more money, management said no. But you did not go to the minister. And you said because it leaked. So whether it leaks or not, if you're doing a proper thing, why doesn't it continue? So to me, you say to yourself, it leaked in the media. And the minister stopped. So which says there was something bad happening because the minister was supposed to continue doing his job despite the leak. Because it's a national project which is critical for the country. I know that background is critical for you to understand that all these questions are coming from what you are saying.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chivayo, you'll be given your time to respond. Honorable Mnangami's point is critical. You said Mulorwa. Honorable Chidakwa, can you come in?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want Mr. Chivayo to know that was he aware when he was called by the engineer or the managing director to say, come and collect your money now, we have been instructed that by the minister. Was you aware that it was illegal because he was getting that money without a bank guarantee? You really know that. First of all, you failed to get that money because you could not produce a bank guarantee. But now you are getting it because the minister has used his influence. Were you aware that it was illegal? What the minister was doing and what he was doing in the minister. Were you aware that you were getting that money and you were using illegal ways because you didn't have proper documents for you to receive that money?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There was nothing illegal about the payment. There was nothing unusual. I have a contract with ZPC. There are provisions in the contract. It's not like ZPC went and paid somebody on the street. They were paying somebody who did work for a contract that they signed. So there was nothing illegal that I did or that the minister did.
I think, Mr. Chivayo, you've got to understand the aspect of the bank guarantee. You seem to be missing that. The question that has been asked is that, were you aware that whatever was happening was outside the due process of what is expected, that a bank guarantee should be there? Yes, to show that it was illegal, the first time the money was released by the minister. The second time it was leaked, the money was not released, and you said before us, the same managing director told you we cannot give you money until you give us a bank guarantee. Is that not what you say to us?
That's exactly what I said.
So to me, if it was legal, so to me, his point, if it was legal, Why then were you then requested of a bank guarantee second time around when the first time you got money without the bank guarantee? Why did that process not continue? Because it was good before the leak. So if it was not for the leak, it was going to continue.
We were going to complete, but as the newspaper started writing and accusing everybody of corruption, nobody wanted to stand that sort of pressure. Everybody became
It's not about them accusing anyone of corruption, even if things are written every day. But if you know you're doing the right thing, you don't stop. This is a national project.
Yes.
They can only stop because it is true what they are saying.
No, it wasn't true.
So to me, the question is that, so if it was not illegal, like he's saying, why did the minister not give you money? And why did the managing director still insist on a bank guarantee, despite him giving you the money at first without a bank guarantee? That's the question.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My response is more or less the same. There was nothing illegal. There were provisions, there are provisions in the contract that allow the employer, represented by the managing director, to waive certain conditions in the interest of progress of the project. So everything he did was in the interest of progress of the project. It was not illegal because it's there in the contract. The provisions are there.
I hope you also have picked up Honorable Mnengami's point that we not on a witch hunting, we need a bank statement with all the money, public funds given to you on this project before us. We'll then be able to scrutinize and be able to then ask questions where this money went to and who the people got the money, how involved they are in this project. I hope you've taken note of that. I had spoken about the 2-point-something million, but now we are going to the full amount of this whole project, a bank statement. And if possible, to be able to furnish us this documentation telling us this amount was paid to this one, here is the performer or whatever it is, which clearly indicates where the money went to. That would make our job easier. So I'm sure as an organization, before you make out the payments, there is a performer, but that is submitted.
Payment, and then you have your pre-commencement works. You say you were paid 3 million, is that right?
Yeah, it was about 3 point something. Yeah.
I have a problem with the somethings, Honorable Chair, because we need to have.
The amounts included VAT, so 3 million. Then the last PRSC, there was a balance of about 1.4, which they didn't.
We don't want the balance. We want to talk about the money that you were paid as feasibility payment, yes, which is straightforward. It's 2.1 million, you say. Yes.
Like I said, I won't commit to the exact figures since I'm under oath, but on the documents that I'll submit, I'll do a write-up to give a breakdown of how much I was paid, when I was paid, what the total was, and what the balance, because
okay, fine.
Some figures include VAT, some figures don't, so it's very confusing.
So my payment now is what was paid to government as VAT.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chair. I paid about 750,000 as VAT.
To government?
To Zimra.
Yeah, that's government.
Yeah.
And was that sufficient? Do you owe anything in terms of that project?
On the last payment release certificate that they haven't paid, there is a balance of 159,000 for Zimra. But all the other, on the feasibility and all the other 3 payments, I immediately remitted what was due to Zimra.
Why is this 159,000 outstanding?
It's outstanding because I haven't been paid that amount. It's still with the employer.
But honestly, if it's outstanding because you haven't been paid, then it's not owing. I'm talking about the amounts that you received in person.
Yeah, out of all the amounts I received, I paid everything that was.
You do not owe anything to Zimra.
Well, Zimra don't work. Zimra, once you have an invoice, they want their money.
Please, may you answer my question? It's a simple, for the amounts that you received from ZESA, you do not owe anything in terms of VAT.
This is what I'm explaining, that Zimra requires, once you put an invoice.
I just want a simple
I think it's a very simple question. Yes. From the amount of money you received, have you paid your dues to Zimra? Yes or no?
Yes, yes. Timelessly for that fact.
Honorable Chikomba, then Honorable Matambananzo.
And this school, Mr. Chairman, between 5 million and 7 million. Because why is it PC talk about 7 million? Who is talking of 5 million? So I don't understand which exactly figure we have.
Happen, we'll then write to ZPC to give us a breakdown of the 7 million that they think mentioned to us, and then I think that will help us, get to the real issue. Honorable Matambananzo.
Madam Chairman, Chairman, and Chingotera na wichao. Asi na chikumbira undibvunze. Vachifaya kuti. Yes, since muri ndi mastermind makafunga planning kaipa government. Ko bank guarantee mamina ere ku bank. I know ndiri kuzoona kuti muri mwana mudiki aifaitira kuti aito business andika. As bank guarantee mamina ere. Endi mari yaidiwa yanga yakawanda zvakadii andika notoda kuona kuti chakaita kuti muti drive kuti mufighte sokufighta. Yes, you are a fighter because makawina chinhu chaifanira kuendeswa nemutemo asi government yakatora nguva yekukupai waiver. Makapuwa waiver yekupuwa pasina guarantee andika mutemo wedu weindigenization iripo here waiver iyo kuma young indigenous like you kuti mune waiver here yekuti mupiwe such kind of project without being guaranteed. Kana iripo, it's good to say it so that we can help you Suzope.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To tender Mataura Murugit, Wongu, kuti guarantee and Ragut Dangandisinga Kwani Siguruan. Asi Raida Maria Kawanda. Raida 350,000. Indica Chenda Naminza Jiti. Idini Muloko, Dag Visa 350. Pamarianda Poe 2.1 million. Jafana kubadara wanu waita feasibility. Ima kuti ndi badare guarantee 350,000. Ndinozosarawo nechi kana ndazobhadhara vanhu vefeasibility. Minister akachiti hongu sezvo wati feasibility wakavapa. Chirega ndichinzwa kuti vachati feasibility yacho yakaitwa zvakanaka here. Ndochizoendawo kune vakuru vangu ndichinobvunza kuti tomubhadhara here nemamiriro azvakaita izvi zvakati nemamiriro ndochizouya ndoona kuti ndingakubatsire sei.
Chairman, clarity yangu kuna Vachivayo ndeyekuti Vachivayo ulocal hwenyu mimi huri papi?
I'm a Zimbabwean.
Handisi kureva as an individual. Ndiri kureva ulocal as Intertrek. In terms, because sorry Chairman, paya mamboti yenyu iri kwemwe mubvunzo ye-State Procurement Board. But zviri kutaurwa naVachivayo kuti as a local businessman, isusu sokutsanangurira kwatachimboita kuya kuti kambani yenyu yakangouya sezita. Imimi zvemambotaura mukati mabhidzi amanonzi maiko akabva kuChina muchitaura. Tender documents akapreparewa nekambani yekuChina hamuna kutombomavhura aingorova straight achienda ku-State Procurement Board. Saka imimi ulocal hwekambani yenyu chaiyo huri papi?
We are local because we are registered in Zimbabwe. And kana ndichiti bid, there are technical submission yakabva kuChindi iri sealed. Pa funding proposal ndopatakaenda kuAfriexim tikati tipewo tsamba tine project iyi. Vakatokumbura kuona profile yenyu toona kuti imi muri kusenza nani. Tikati isusu hatina kumbobvira takaita basa iri asi tiri kushanda neava vari kuChina. Afriexim ikati aiwa tsamba tinokupai nekuti vanhu vamuri kusenza nava tinowaziva wabva watipa tsamba. Tobva taendawo kubank ABC tikati isusu tiri local asi tiri kushanda nekambani yekuChina iyi. Tipewo support letter vakati tinokupai 15% of the total project cost vakanyorawo tsamba. Saka basa redu ranga riri kubatsira pakutsvaga mari. Isusu tichifamba nezita reavo wekuChina. Wekuchina wangouya nematsambawo saka wauya takachizovhura funding proposal tobva tachizoidrafta tichiti kuno kuseIntratrek Afriexim yatipa tsamba yekuti kana 400 million tinogona kukupai paproject yakadai kana muchishanda nevanhu ava. Bank ABC yatipo tsamba yati tinogona kukupai 20 million which is more than 15% of the project. Tikabva ipapo tikaenda ku South Africa kune imwe financial institution yakabva yanyorwa support letter kuti isusu togona kubatsira kutsvaga 15% inenge ichizodiwa kana China yaisa 85%. Saka isusu taimobilize tiri kuno tichitawo zvekutsvaga mari mumalocal banks. Saka ndichipindurawo mubvunzo honorable chairman wangu achiti pamwe wakashaya mari kana guarantee nenyaya yeprevious conviction. Hapana kana paitaurwa zveconviction pese nekuti hakuna munhu achasvika achiti gogogo pano ndakamboconvictwa, and that's the introduction. Hakuna munhu anotaura zveunongofamba usa businessman ndine company yangu
I think Mr. Chivayo, some of these comments will invite more questions which will be here until I think the issue of you not getting a bank guarantee is critical, and the point was, is it because of a credibility issue or not? Because you're talking about big financial houses here, and we're saying, why could they not support you? So it's no point you naming these big institutions when you need a guarantee, they don't give you. So it's for them to tell us why, but for us is to know whether the guarantee or not according to the disbursement of money, and the guarantee was not there. What I was asking you a question you did not answer that. To date, in terms of the work done, you said that you've done half of the fence. I asked you, when did you get the money? When did you start the work? And the money you got, does it cover the work that you're doing in terms of fencing, or it does not?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Pre-commencement works, when you're doing them, you have to complete all of them. There's no criteria that defines to say, do the fence first, or clear the land first, but you, as the contractor, choose what do I start with? I start with the designs. Let me look at the road to the transmission to the substation. Let me start by this. So it's not like when you have a criteria of saying I should put the fence first or I should do this first. As long as you can complete all of them, as they are pre-commencement works before the contract. So at this stage, yes, we're doing the fence, but we're also going to start on clearing the land.
When just to turn off, when we had ZPC here, they said that they'd taken over the project. They'd taken over the project. So is it the same project that they're talking about? Because ZPC are saying we're on the ground now, and we are doing it. But you're also saying you're on the ground. You're doing it. So as ZBC, did they lie before us that they've taken over?
When they say they've taken over, after these challenges that we faced with the payment of the balance, the new dispensation is 3 months old. We're talking about things that happened a year ago.
Honorables, let's allow him to respond to the question. In taking over, because you're talking about two issues, yes. The same project you're talking about, ZPC said we've taken over because you failed. Okay? They've taken over because you failed. What would you say to that?
Well, that's incorrect.
Who's on the ground?
It's our subcontractors and ZPC.
So, but where ZPC supposed to be on the ground?
Yes, because it's their project. They're supposed to be there.
In terms of their project, so what is their role in the project? What thing role are they playing right now in this whole
ZPC is the employer, so they're supposed to be present on site to supervise the works and see they have somebody employed on the site.
No, I'm not talking about supervising. Yes. They did not say they were supervising. Yes. They said they have taken over the project because of you not delivering. So are you telling me all they're doing, they've just got a supervisor who's watching what you're doing, so they have nothing that they're doing?
What we agreed was that I brought my subcontractors, they reviewed the subcontractors that I had, and then I brought in a suggestion, which I said, if you pay the subcontractors directly, because I will certainly not be able to get a guarantee. So rather,
thank you very much. So you have admitted now that you have failed to run the project and you brought in ZPC are doing it, like you said. So ZPC now have come in
They've
They are-
always been in there, the owner of the project.
No, let's go step by step. In what you are admitting now is that you have agreed with ZPC to do certain works because you don't have the money. Is that not what you're saying?
No. I'm saying we agreed with ZPC that the balance of the pre-commencement works, they pay the subcontractors directly and engage them so that
But who's supposed to pay them from the initial agreement?
ZPC is supposed to pay me and then I pay the subcontractors. But we signed an addendum.
Good. Now we're going in the right direction. So ZPC diverted from paying you and paying somebody else.
Because I said I can't give them the guarantee that they require.
But they gave you money to do some work.
Yes, but it was combined works for all the pre-commencement works. So the balance that they're supposed to pay then gets to completion of the work. So I made a presentation to them and said, look, this balance, if I spread it around and pay this company, and this company, all these works that are due will be completed. So they said, okay, let's sign an addendum to that effect. Then we pay directly the subcontractors. Then we
to do the work, to raise money, to finish off the work. Now an addendum is coming in, because an addendum is after.
Yes.
So the original agreement does not talk about ZPC coming in. An addendum is after you have failed, and it's added, because it's simple addendum add. It means it's now being added because you have failed. Otherwise, it was not supposed to be there.
Yes.
So you have failed. Thank you for responding to that. Yes, Honorable Madueko, then I'll go to Honorable Tsayami, and then Honorable Klanga.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Order. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Hey.
Ask that question, Honorable Honorable Madueko, you have the floor. Honorable Ndewele, let's just allow this to...
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You were paid in January 2016. Then they kept January 2017. This is January 2018, but nothing is happening. No fencing, no clearing of the ground. Where is the 5 million point something?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Like I explained, we did part of the works that could not be quantified.
May I be allowed to say there's no truth in that, Mr. Chairman?
To date, ZPC's exposure is on average 1.8 million, but on the 20th, we're submitting a geotechnical survey, which is going to be about 600,000. And then when we finish the fence, that's another 550,000. That would leave
Mr.
ZPC.
Chivayo,
Yes.
you see, you cannot choose to respond to issues that we've gone past. It's pretty clear the intervention of ZPC, according to us here, which is evidence, is that you have failed. So we now understand why they've come in, and we don't know why they are still accommodating you. We will call ZPC before us again to say, how can you then have an addendum? Why don't you just terminate this whole arrangement and have ZPC do it, because clearly it has failed. We cannot sit here and say that this project is going according to what was agreed. Clearly it has failed with the numerous answers that you're giving and where you're failing to give. So this is critical for us to understand that, and the intervention of ZPC is timely, is critical, and I think they must now go ahead, and we now must ask them, what role do you still have to play in this? How many addendums are they going to have in this whole contract? Yes, Honorable Sam.
Thank you,
I'll
Mr.
come
Chairman.
back to you.
You have already taken my words. There is not much to deal with. No more lullabies here. This country has to move. No more phone calls are happening, so the project is in flip-flop. Those phone calls which were coming, they have been cut. So the contractor is now in trouble. So we must look for genuine contractors.
And I also want to add on top of that, Committee Chair, apachisina need yokuti vachivayo varambe varipo pasaiti yekugwana. Kana varamba varipo iko hino Zvakureva kuti imomo muZPC machemomo kuna vanhu vari kutorawo mari ichida kuenda kuna Chivayo vachidyawo. So ngazvichimbomiswa ivo veZPC ngavatitaurire zvavakaita chaizvizvo. Kumari yavakapa Chivayo vakamupa mari chinzi ndei iye Chivayo wacho ngaatipe statement yake but iye ngaati.
I think that has been noted. Honorable Charissa, Account Honorable Mtlanga, and then Honorable Nduna and Joe. Honorable Charissa, you had your hand up.
Thank you, Chairperson. Mine is not a question, it's just a recommendation, Mr. Chairperson. I think we have had enough of Mr. Chivayo. Let him bring what he said he'll bring or to give to Chio. For the time being, I don't think he has new things to offer us. So he might as well leave and we bring in the ZPC. Thank you.
Mtlanga.